This video is going to take you through another example of Lenz's law and the law of conservation of energy. And it's just that example we saw in class, a magnet falling through a hollow metal tube. So the magnet falls down through the tube because it's been accelerated by its weight force. And as we know, the flux density of a magnet is stronger the closer you get to the magnet. So as that magnet approaches and then falls through the tube, the total flux through the tube is changing, or more specifically, it's increasing with time. And Faraday's law tells us that anytime there's a change in flux, that'll induce an EMF. Now, if we slice this tube up into a series of rings, it makes it easier to see that this tube is a series of circuits, a series of circular circuit paths. And this little picture here shows you the cross section of the tube. I've cut along this dotted line here, and so what I can see is a hollow section in the middle, and I've got the two metal ends at the side. And so as that magnet's falling through the tube, it's falling through a series of conducting circuits. And as we know, an EMF is just a voltage, and if you've got a voltage in a conducting path, you'll get a current to flow around each of those rings. But the question is, and the big question for Lenz's law is, which way does that current flow? So there's two situations. If the EMF caused a current to flow as shown, that by the right-hand grit rule, if you use your right-hand grit rule, this creates a magnetic field pointing down in the same direction as the magnetic field from the magnet. And that means this current flow actually increases the total flux downwards, or this current flow actually acts to increase the flux change. Now, if you think about this magnetic field, the fact that that magnetic field is pointing down means that this current flow in this ring is actually making a north pole at the bottom of this ring and a south pole at the top. And that means the south pole, due to this electric current, will actually be attracting the north pole of the magnet down. And therefore the magnet now has a weight force down plus an attraction force due to the magnetic field of the current. And that magnetic field would act to put an attraction force on the magnet. It would cause to increase its acceleration downwards. That would increase the flux change with time. That would increase the induced current, which would increase the force on the magnet, would make it fall faster, and so on and so on and so on. And it's pretty clear to see that would lead to the magnet gaining kinetic energy with no input work, which is impossible according to the law of conservation of energy. So this possibility of the current, in this case flowing clockwise, is clearly violating the law of conservation of energy and can't happen. So let's look at the other situation. What if the current in this situation was induced the other way around? So if the current acted to oppose the flux change. So in this situation, we have our current flowing anti-clockwise. Using the right-hand grit rule, we can see that produces a magnetic field pointing up. So in this case, the magnetic field produced actually acts to oppose the magnetic field of the magnet, or in other words, it acts to oppose the flux change, because these flux lines pointing up are opposing that increasing flux pointing down. So in this situation, the current produces a north pole at the top and a south pole at the bottom. That north pole at the top will actually repel the north pole of the magnet, so now the magnet has a force going opposite to its weight force. So this magnetic field would act to apply an upward repulsion force on the magnet, causing it to decrease its acceleration. In this way, some of the magnet's gravitational potential energy is being converted to kinetic energy, and some into electrical energy and heat energy inside the tube. And that is clearly consistent with the law of conservation of energy. And thus, Lenz's law, which says an induced EMF and current will act to oppose the flux change that induced it, or EMF equals minus N divided T, the fact that the induced current acted to oppose the flux change is just a direct consequence of the law of conservation of energy. And it's very important you can explain Lenz's law as a consequence of the law of conservation of energy. Now, to see if you really understand Lenz's law, Faraday's law, the flux change in these tubes, a little question to ponder. I've got 4 separate tubes here, identically sized in diameter, identical lengths, and 4 identical magnets being dropped simultaneously through each tube. The first tube is a solid copper tube. The second tube is a solid copper tube, but it's had a whole series of slots cut into it along the length of the tube. The next tube is a plastic tube, and the last tube is an aluminium tube. Now, the data given to you is that copper has a higher conductivity than aluminium. And the question you've got to answer is, well, first of all, you've got to figure out what order will these magnets come out the bottom of the tubes. More importantly, can you explain the order at which the magnets leave the tubes? A very interesting and very important question to test if you actually understand Lenz's law and Faraday's law.